Okay, let's start.
Okay. So yesterday after the meeting, I first removed the installations of Amavis that I had in my system. Then I now started doing the configuration based on their documentation. So the first thing I did was getting a copy of all the files in my local machine so that I can watch them using my Visual Studio editor. So it's easier for me to navigate through the files. Then after that, I now started doing the configurations on the server. Let me just close this. So I started doing the configurations in the server while following their documentation. First, I go to the download. Of course, the download, we had already done that when we were doing the meeting. So I mean, just getting the files. Then after getting the files, I needed now to do the installation. And the installation is guideline is provided by this file here. I also realized that this same file is also what is available in this link. So it's just the same file. Then I also try to at least get assistance from DeepSeek. I tried the same with the ChatGPT, but ChatGPT was just diverting to using its own approach. So what I did is I took my official documentation and pasted it in DeepSeek and told DeepSeek that this is the official documentation of installing Amavis in my system, and I want you to guide me, help me to understand the documentation. So I followed those steps. So the first thing was, first of all, just a minute. I think I have done a lot of things there. At the top. Yeah, the first was to install the required libraries. There are several of them. So I needed to install this, and all that. So after installation of that, I started by creating a dedicated user, a group for Amavis. So I created a user known as Amavis, and after creating the user, I created the directories and giving the permissions to this user, which is Amavis, to those directories that I created. After that, I now installed and configured the Amavis first by copying the Amavis D to the user's library and all that. So it means that I had to first go to the directory where I downloaded my files. So it is Amavis, like that. So if I do the lslt, so these are my files. Then what I needed to copy was this file here. So I needed to copy that file to this directory here, user local then sbin. Then I changing the ownership of that directory to root, and then after that, giving the permissions here. And then I also copied amavis.conf to etc. Then giving the ownership of that to change the ownership from root to Amavis user. Then after that, I did the editing of this file. Let me just open the file. So sudo no. So I made these configurations. First of all, change the user that was there by default to the one that I had created, which is Amavis user. I also changed my domain because that was domain.example.com. Then I changed my home directory to point to the home directory of the user that I created. Then these other directories are just pointing to the other variables. I mean, these other variables are pointing to the variables that I've already created. Then I also declared the quarantine directory, which is virus emails. Then after making those changes, I now needed to test if Amavis has started running. First of all, I needed to run it in a debug mode. So the benefits of running it in a debug mode is that if there is any error, it's going to show it. So I did that, and it was showing a lot of errors, telling me some modules were missing. Because when I installed my modules at the top here, you can see there is dot, 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 which means I left out some modules. So I installed those modules and rerun until everything started running. Then after that, if you look at the installation, they're telling us that the testing of the daemon, if it is running, is described in the README of a specific MTA that you're using in your system. So for our case is readme.postfix. So I now went to the MTA file, which is this one here, the README files. Then it is postfix, this file. So apart from that, there is the HTML version of the file, which I also just created that in my system and pasted all the HTML code. So I even ran the code. It's this one here, and it has all my requirements. So followed all these and did the configuration on the postfix files. So the master.cf, I've added this just to declare my service. Then there is other section here, dedicated SMTP server. So also added this. Then after adding that, I also need to edit the main.cf to call the service that I declared, which is this one here, SMTP. I mean Amavis feed. The good thing is that this documentation is also explaining what each step here is doing, like what content filter is doing, what maps are doing, and restrictions and all that. So the testing that was being mentioned in the installation here is actually at the bottom of this file. It's somewhere in the bottom. Let me just check with this other file. It seems to be very clear. So first of all, we need to test if the Amavis is running by just running this command. So I did that. Go back and just run that command. So if I paste it here, you consider it's connected to localhost. Then I also need to pass this command, this one here. Let me just copy this. Sorry. I paste it here. So if I enter, you can see that everything is done is correctly, and it tallies with what is recommended on this. So I can go ahead and quit that. Now I've now been working on the last testing part, which is port 125, which is this one here. This is the one that is failing because if I run it, it's saying that it cannot be reached. So unable to connect to the remote host, connection refused. So just before we started the meeting, there are some instructions here that tell us that if the test fails, the following questions may be asked. So we may ask ourselves this question to help us to do the debugging of the problem. So I should check if postfix master daemon is running. I should also check if postfix is writing an error to the log. Then I should also ask myself if the IP address and the port number specified in the new service configuration match the values during the test. Then I should also ask myself if the firewall is intercepting the connection. So these are the questions I need to ask myself as I debug the system. So these are my next steps.
Okay, excellent, excellent. That's very good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, we can see that thing is moving forward now.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
And for those questions, did you try to discuss with ChatGPT?
No, I haven't actually. I've started working on them because this test I just ran it a few minutes before we started the meeting, so I didn't have time to do that. So now
Okay.
I'm back on that. Try to ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you go again in the HTML file? I want to check something there. Yes, this one. Where is the testing part here?
The testing part. Somehow different from the main file for the testing because I didn't find that in the test in the HTML. But if I look at the one that is not the HTML, just readme.postfix, that is where there is testing. So I'm checking both the files, the HTML and just the readme without the HTML. So the readme without the HTML is readable within the text editor, but now this one I have to do it the way I've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, can we scroll down? Let's see the final test. This test is about the telnet seeing if port is working. They have add another test. How to test maybe sending C. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I think if you scroll down, I think I've seen some place there. I just want to make sure that the test is complete. You see, message filtering example.
Okay.
You see, I think maybe this is where we will do test.
Yeah.
Because the previous test that you show me is about the port.
Yes. The 2 ports that we've declared, the 24 and the 25, we have to be sure that all of them are running fast before.
Yes.
We do
And
any
how you
steps.
can do to test filter email globally.
Yes.
Or try to
I
scroll.
think this is number 3. There are several steps. There's number 2. So it's just a series of steps. Let me click on this. So we have the integration, which is the introduction. Then after that, we shall start with our steps. First of all is the requirements. They make sure that all these requirements are there. Which version of Postfix is required, catching errors during the integration, and basic Postfix and Amavis new deconfiguration. That is our step number 2. So after that, we move to step number 3. This is still step number 2 because step number 2 is basic Postfix and Amavis deconfiguration. So I think the testing now is step number 3. Let me scroll. Okay, number 2, after configuring Postfix with Amavis D, then even the testing of the ports and all that is included there. But I think now step number 3 is message filtering examples. So this is where the filtering comes in.
Okay. And how you can test that Amavis is filtering the email? That is what I'm trying to see.
Okay, if you look at this, they're saying it has given the filtering examples. So filtering email globally by service, by recipient, by sender, and all that. So they have explained that here. So 3.1, 0.2, 0.3, like that. So 0.1 is filtering email globally.
Okay. I understand now. Okay. So in part 3, they will show that and then they will explain any filter.
Yes.
And at the end, they are showing how to test it.
I don't know if they have shown that. Yeah, maybe I should just.
No, at the end of any filter.
Okay.
Yes. You don't need to test for any filter. If they do that, the documentation will be very big.
Maybe.
Yes. Okay, let's just scroll down and see if there is filter by domain. This is a subpart for part 3. Yes.
Yeah. 5 filtering per content. Then, there is also section 4. It's still very long. Section 4 is a cleanup service architecture. So this looks really solid. Section 5, there is tuning. I think that is the end. And,
Okay. Excellent tips for Genie.
yeah.
Okay. Can you copy this and okay, I don't want okay. Maybe you can copy this as you did with the documentation for Amavis. You copy this documentation for Postfix and submit that to DeepSeek and ask him how we can how we can at the end of this documentation how we can test that Amavis is making filtering.
Okay. I think I did. Okay. The question that I asked is a bit different. After doing the downloading of the files, which was my first prompt. So the downloading, I just copied the download.
This is the doubt about the installation of Postfix.
Yes, the first one here.
The Postfix part.
Yes. This part is not the
Yes, this part is the installation part. I mean the Postfix.
Okay, this is the installation, but I also have the configuration part somewhere down here. Yeah. So here I did the official, this is the official documentation for integrating with my MTA. So it starts from here, integrating with in Postfix. So this part here is what we have been looking at, this file.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So I pasted that file, then it now directed me on how to configure. So I've done those configurations. Maybe we should now ask a question. How do I run the tests? Like,
Yes, yes, yes. You can ask.
how do I test if the filtering is working? I think that is enough.
Okay. Okay. We still have the echo. That's good. Okay. It's very important.
Okay.
You add the virus there. Okay.
DeepSeek is slow, but it's
Yes.
very nice.
Yeah, it's yes. It is a good. It's a good AI.
um,
But in some case, I prefer an AI to be slow and give me some good response
yeah,
versus
yeah, yeah.
AI
True.
that's just generating without response. Without a good response. Okay, now it means that you will continue with the documentation, with the testing about the port because you were on the side to test port.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if this one works, I'll now move now to testing now and see.
Now to finish the configuration because they we see have you finished the step 3, the part
Um,
the documentation. It
so
seems
part
like you
three.
were
Yeah, I'm on part the part of testing the ports. So I've tested 24 is okay. So I want to test 25. Debug 25 because it's the one that has started giving the errors. After 25 is working, then I'll now move to section 3 and select one. I think I'll go with globally by default.
okay.
Then with globally means that I'll sending from any user to any of my users. It should do the filtering. So I think by filtering globally, that should now allow me to go to the last step, check if the filtering is actually working. If this starts working, then maybe in future we can now check how we can do the filter by service or filter by recipient and all that, if it
Yes,
is
but in
necessary.
our case, check email by content. It's not by I think for setup we need to add all this
Okay.
because it will I don't know. Or maybe okay, okay, okay. When you add the globally will handle all this case
Yes, yes.
because we have done the check email by content. The last one.
Okay.
That's where you can catch some spammer.
Yeah.
Because if you don't check by content, I am not seeing how you will detect spam.
Filtering by recipients. Let me check what they mean by content.
Okay.
Message spotting. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'll. I think the best thing is just to do all of them.
Yes, because if you go again on Gypsy, try to check Gypsy again. Because Gypsy gave you many tests. If you go down, you have the test about the virus, test about
Yes.
content.
So
No,
what
smoke.
was down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you have what the smoke test. Test if Amavis is receiving email. You
Yeah.
see, this is good about Gypsy. So you have supply test.
Yeah.
You see, this is the most critical part. Okay, so you have this smoke part where you will just test about the lock. Even
Yeah.
for that smoke part, you need to send an email. You see there,
Yes.
because
Yes.
when you will open through terminal. On one hand, you will run the yes, that is what ChatGPT said. Open a terminal and run the following command and watch the dash dash dash. Now, send an email throughout your system. You can do this from a remote account, your Gmail or whatever, to your server or locally on the server with the mail command. So you have
Yes.
remote. Try to scroll down again. And we have the functional test virus and spam detection. Okay, here you will hit this virus. So you will first attach this in a file. This is that character,
Yeah.
and then you will send it by using command mail, and then you watch the log. You have the part B test spam detection using YouTube. Try to scroll down. Okay, what is the YouTube? Let's see. A generic test for unsolicited email is a similar test string for spam filter like SpamAssassin. Okay. So right now, Gypsy does not know that you have SpamAssassin.
Yes. Yes.
So it should be something like SpamAssassin. So you will have the echo, and then you will watch the log. Okay. And you have now the header. You need that to be check the header. If messages are being delivered, the most straightforward check is to look at the email header of the received message. Send a normal test email without Eka or YouTube. Okay, check this. Try to scroll down. Okay. Okay, I think this global testing part will be very interesting. Okay,
Yes.
exactly. So your next step is to continue by testing the port, the other port, and by continuing with the rest of the step,
Yes.
and then we move to the testing part. Okay, perfect. Do you have another thing to add? Any question?
Not for now. Not for now, sir.
Okay. Good. Okay. Let's continue with Karim.
Okay, hello, share my screen. So, yesterday after the meet, I worked on the trainings. I shared the courses, and then I noticed that uh, that the mails we sent were actually delivered, but and they are flagged as spam. But now the issue is that they are only delivered like after 20 minutes. So it's only added moment that they are visible in the inbox. And then I tested like sending emails. So even not spam emails, but simple email. Even if I send to Gmail or to Yahoo, so it's all the same. They are only visible in the inbox, like after around 20 minutes. So I don't know why it's taking that time. So the good news that the spam PT is flagging the email, but that is the issue. So this morning I started. So I first documented the steps I did before until the spam PT in this file, and then I started to understand, to debug on um, why it is taking that time to to be visible on the inbox. So for now, I am still there. So I just uh, copied all the logs I had, and I'm trying to figure out by asking to chat what is the reason. Roll or solve while I did. So I'm able to send from Roundcube to Roundcube, from Roundcube to Gmail, and Gmail to Roundcube, from Roundcube to Yahoo, and Yahoo to Roundcube, uh, and from Proton to Roundcube. I'm still not able to send from Roundcube to Proton. So that's all. So that is my next step. To try to see what is the reason, because I don't understand why it is taking that long to be delivered.
Okay. But the problem is your case that when we fix 2 step, you break another 3 step.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
You fix 2 step, you break 2. I think you need to change. You need to switch and start using the simple spam assassin method. Are you
Okay.
still on the complex one?
Yes, I'm still on that.
Yes, I think we need to switch and leave that and continue with the Godix method.
All right.
Because if you
Okay.
stay like this, that will consume you a lot of time.
Okay. Okay, so I switch on the spam D.
Yes. The but the Roundcube part, Godix have already shown you last time how it's working. You have made a call meeting with Godix and Godix show you.
The Roundcube part.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's still having issue on your site.
No, but she said it's working now. Roundcube, right?
Yes, there is a delay. She says there is.
I think maybe the delay is because of the filtering that maybe SpamAssassin is doing. Maybe it's doing it deliberately to. There's could be some setting the SpamAssassin is doing to delay your emails.
Yes.
They're delaying to hit the Roundcube, right?
Yes, and it is also delaying even if I send a Roundcube to Gmail or a Roundcube to Yahoo.
Yeah, that
The
could be
outgoing.
that could be some timing. There could be some timing in the SpamAssassin that is delaying that. Maybe you need to check the configuration. Just ask about SpamAssassin. I suspect it's the assassin that is delaying the emails, maybe doing some filtering and giving it some time, then the server will send later.
Yes. It's this because before the SpamAssassin it hasn't that issue.
Okay. So to be efficient, I think it's better to leave to use the SpamAssassin with it is SpamAssassin with what?
SpamD.
Okay, yes, use the method SpamAssassin with SpamD.
All right. Okay, I'll switch on that.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Do you have another thing to add?
No, that's all. That's all for now.
Okay. Are you Bodrick? Anything else to add?
Even me, I don't have anything to add for now.
Okay. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Bye, sir.
Thanks,
See you
Laura. Have a
tomorrow.
nice day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.